The heartbreaking life of Mimi Rogers from The X-Files. You know Mimi Rogers as the captivating Diana Fowley on The X-Files. But what if I told you there was more to her story than what you saw on screen? The real Mimi Rogers' journey to becoming Diana Fowley is filled with surprising twists, personal heartbreaks, and a relentless pursuit of her passion. From her nomadic childhood influenced by Scientology to her turbulent marriage with Tom Cruise, Mimi's journey is anything but ordinary. Get ready, because the true story of Mimi Rogers is far more complex and inspiring than you ever imagined. Early life. Mimi Rogers, whose real name is Miriam Ann Spickler, was born in Florida in 1956. Her dad, Philip Spickler, was a civil engineer and a big believer in Scientology, a religion that played a major role in Mimi's early life. Her mom, Kathy Talent, had a background in dance and drama, adding a creative flair to the mix. Mimi's childhood was anything but ordinary. Her family moved around quite a bit, living in Virginia, Arizona, Michigan, and even England before finally settling in Los Angeles. This nomadic lifestyle exposed her to different cultures and experiences, broadening her horizons and fostering a sense of adaptability. School wasn't really Mimi's thing. She finished high school early, at just 14 years old. Instead of hitting the books, she started working at a hospital, taking care of people who couldn't care for themselves. She also helped people struggling with addiction as a social worker. These experiences taught her a lot about empathy and compassion, which would later make her a better actress. In a funny twist, Mimi even lived with another famous actress, Kirstie Alley, when they were both starting out. Can you imagine those late-night chats about their dreams and ambitions? It must have been an exciting time for both of them. Acting career. After her first marriage ended, Mimi Rogers packed her bags and set off for the sunny shores of Los Angeles to chase her acting dreams. Determined to hone her craft, she spent 9 months studying with renowned acting coach Milton Katselas. With her newfound skills and a burning passion, she then went on a quest to find an agent who could open the doors to Hollywood stardom. Mimi's journey wasn't without its challenges. She even auditioned for the lead role in the sizzling thriller Body Heat, but the part ultimately went to Kathleen Turner. However, setbacks didn't deter her. She landed guest spots on popular TV shows like Hill Street Blues, where she played a love interest for Officer Andy Renko, as well as Magnum P.I. and Heart to Heart. In 1982, Mimi got her first starring role in a made-for-TV movie called Hear No Evil, playing the character of Meg. This was a big step forward for her career, giving her a chance to showcase her acting chops to a wider audience. The following year, she made her big screen debut in the sports comedy Blue Skies Again. Mimi's career continued to gain momentum as she became a regular on 2 TV series, The Rousters and Paper Dolls. In Paper Dolls, she played Blair Harper Fenton, a glamorous supermodel navigating the cutthroat world of fashion. This role showcased her versatility as an actress, proving she could embody both dramatic and comedic characters with ease. In 1986, Mimi landed a significant role alongside Michael Keaton in the comedy film Gung Ho. The film explored cultural clashes between American and Japanese workers, and Mimi's performance garnered positive reviews. This marked a turning point in her career, solidifying her status as a rising star in Hollywood. Big breakthrough. 1986 brought another near miss for Mimi Rogers. She auditioned for the lead in the suspenseful thriller Fatal Attraction, but the role ultimately went to Glenn Close. However, that same year, she finally landed her big break, a role that would launch her into the spotlight. She was cast opposite Tom Berenger in Someone to Watch Over Me, playing Claire Gregory, a captivating socialite who witnesses a murder and falls under police protection. This role showcased Mimi's acting range, as she portrayed vulnerability and strength in equal measure. The following year, Mimi starred alongside Denzel Washington in The Mighty Quinn, a crime drama set in the Caribbean. Her performance further solidified her status as a rising star in Hollywood, as she held her own next to one of the industry's most talented actors. In 1990, she appeared in the thriller Desperate Hours, demonstrating her ability to tackle intense and suspenseful roles. But it was in 1991 that Mimi Rogers delivered what many consider her most powerful performance. She starred in The Rapture, a thought-provoking film about a woman who undergoes a dramatic transformation from a carefree swinger to a devout Christian after learning about the impending apocalypse. Mimi's portrayal was mesmerizing, earning her a nomination for an Independent Spirit Award for Best Female Lead. Critics praised her performance, comparing her to screen legends like Bette Davis and Barbara Stanwyck. Mimi's career continued to thrive as she took on diverse roles in both film and television. She starred in Reflections on a Crime, a psychological thriller, and The Mirror Has Two Faces, a romantic comedy drama. In 1997, she appeared in the cult classic Austin Powers' International Man of Mystery, showcasing her comedic chops as Mrs. Kensington. Her roles in Lost in Space and the horror film Ginger Snaps further demonstrated her versatility as an actress. Mimi Rogers reached a pivotal moment in her career when she posed a naked picture for the March 1993 edition of Playboy magazine. It was a bold move that sparked a mix of reactions. Some praised her for embracing her sexuality and celebrating her body, while others criticized her for succumbing to societal pressures. Mimi later explained that she had been approached by Playboy for years and finally agreed to the shoot after being granted complete control over the creative process. She felt the photos were done tastefully, and since she was planning to have children soon, she saw it as a way to capture a snapshot of her body at its prime. It was a personal decision, and she stood by it confidently. Mimi Rogers continued to captivate audiences with her diverse range of roles in the 1990s. In 1994, she took on a challenging and emotionally charged role in the prison thriller Reflections on a Crime. Her portrayal of a woman on death row earned her the Best Actress award at the Seattle International Film Festival, with critics praising her typically terrific performance. Continuing to impress with her acting abilities, Rogers joined a talented ensemble cast in the critically acclaimed comedy drama Trees Lounge in 1996. She also shared the screen with legendary actresses Barbra Streisand and Lauren Bacall in the romantic comedy drama The Mirror Has Two Faces. Her ability to hold her own amongst such acclaimed performers solidified her reputation as a versatile and talented actress. In 1997, Rogers joined a project that would become a cultural phenomenon, starring as Mrs. Kensington in the hilarious spy spoof Austin Powers' International Man of Mystery. Her comedic timing and playful charm added another dimension to her growing repertoire of roles. A year later, she embarked on an intergalactic adventure in the sci-fi film Lost in Space, playing the role of Dr. Maureen Robinson, the mother of a family lost in the vastness of space. Rogers' ability to portray a strong and resourceful character in a male-dominated genre further cemented her status as a leading lady in Hollywood. In 1999, Rogers took on a more serious role, co-producing and co-starring in the Holocaust drama The Devil's Arithmetic. The film, aimed at a younger audience, explored the horrors of the Holocaust through the eyes of a young girl. Rogers' commitment to the project and her dedication to educating future generations earned her a Daytime Emmy Award nomination for Outstanding Children's Special. Between 1998 and 1999, she joined the cast of The X-Files, the popular television series that delved into the paranormal and unexplained. For 7 episodes, Rogers portrayed Diana Fowley. Diana Fowley was an FBI agent, just like Fox Mulder, the main guy on the show. They both loved digging into the weird and unexplained, which made them instant buddies. But their connection went deeper than that. Turns out they had a history together, even a little romance back in their early FBI days. This made things super interesting, adding a whole new dimension to the show. Mimi Rogers brought a special kind of energy to the role. She was cool and collected, but there was always a hint of mystery in her eyes. You couldn't quite tell whose side she was on, which made her character super captivating. Her conversations with Mulder and Scully, the other main character, were always filled with tension and hidden emotions. Fans of the show couldn't get enough of Diana Fowley. Some thought she was a good guy, someone who could help Mulder solve his crazy cases. Others weren't so sure, wondering if she had secret motives of her own. This back and forth made the show even more exciting, as everyone tried to figure out what Diana was really up to. Mimi Rogers kept busy throughout the 2000s, taking on a variety of roles that showcased her acting range. She even played a mom on the popular teen show Dawson's Creek in 2003, proving she could tackle any kind of character. That same year, she brought her charm and wit to the lighthearted TV show Las Vegas, and even appeared in the silly comedy Dumb and Dumberer When Harry Met Lloyd. But Mimi wasn't just about laughs. She also starred in the emotional drama The Door on the Floor alongside Jeff Bridges and Kim Basinger, showing her serious side. And she didn't stop there. She joined the cast of the Fox comedy The Loop for a while, playing a confident executive who loved to tease her younger colleagues. Mimi even tried her hand at voice acting, lending her voice to the animated show King of the Hill in 2010. And she didn't just stick to acting in front of the camera. She also worked as a producer on the action-packed movie Unstoppable. This just goes to show how talented and versatile she is. But Mimi's skills weren't limited to the screen. She also took to the stage in 2010, performing in a play called Love, Loss, and What I Wore. It was a hit, proving that she could captivate audiences both on and off camera. She made a return to TV in 2011, playing a quirky primatologist on the popular sitcom 2.5 Men. She was a perfect fit for the show, bringing her own brand of humor and charm to the role. In the following years, she continued to act in various projects, including the TV show The Client List, and movies like For a Good Time Call and Hope Springs, where she starred alongside the legendary Meryl Streep. In 2012, she was cast in the ABC pilot Scruples, playing a tough magazine editor who wasn't afraid to stir up drama. Even though the show didn't get picked up, Mimi's performance showed she could command a room and play a powerful character. In 2015, she landed a recurring role on the critically acclaimed AMC drama Mad Men, portraying a bisexual photographer named Pima Ryan. It was a bold and complex character that allowed Mimi to explore new depths in her acting. Her performance was both captivating and thought-provoking, adding another layer to the show's rich tapestry of characters. But one of Mimi's most significant roles in recent years has been as Honey Chandler, a fierce and determined attorney in the popular Amazon series Bosch. She first appeared in the show in 2014 and continued to play the role until 2021. Honey Chandler was a formidable opponent for the show's titular character, Harry Bosch, played by Titus Welliver. Their interactions were filled with tension, wit, and a mutual respect for each other's skills. Mimi's portrayal of Honey Chandler was so well received that she was asked to reprise the role in the spin-off series Bosch Legacy, which premiered in 2022. This shows the impact she had on the show and the enduring appeal of her character. Honey Chandler is a strong, independent woman who fights for justice, and Mimi's performance brings her to life with a fiery passion and a sharp wit. Poker player. Mimi Rogers isn't just a talented actress, she's also a card shark. It turns out she's been playing poker since she was a teenager. In 2003, she decided to take her love for the game to the next level and started competing in tournaments. And she wasn't just playing for fun. In her very first major tournament, the World Poker Tour's Shooting Stars event in 2004, Mimi finished in the money. That means she beat out a ton of other players and walked away with some serious cash. Pretty impressive, right? But Mimi's poker career didn't stop there. She's even on the board of directors for the World Poker Tour, which is like being a big shot in the poker world. And in 2006, she showed off her skills again by finishing in the money at the World Series of Poker, one of the biggest poker tournaments in the world. Personal life. Mimi Rogers has had an eventful love life, walking down the aisle 3 times. Her first husband was Jim Rogers, a financial whiz. They got hitched in 1976, and Mimi even took his last name. But sadly, things didn't work out, and they parted ways in 1980. After her split with Jim, Mimi found love again with actor Emilio Estevez, known for his roles in The Breakfast Club and St. Elmo's Fire. Their relationship was a whirlwind of young Hollywood romance, filled with passion and excitement. However, their time together was short-lived, and they eventually went their separate ways. Mimi Rogers and Tom Cruise's love story began around 1985 or 1986. While the exact details of their first encounter remain a bit of a mystery, Tom confirmed they were dating in an interview in 1986. Things moved pretty fast for them, and they got married within a year. Even though they agreed they loved each other, they couldn't seem to agree on how they first met. Tom said they met at a dinner party in 1985, and Mimi already had a boyfriend at the time. But Mimi remembered things differently. She also said they met at a dinner party, but she was single and friends set them up. She said it just felt right, and they quickly started talking about getting married. This was a bit surprising considering there was a 7-year age gap between them. Mimi was 31 and Tom was 24 when they tied the knot. Mimi was also aware that fame was coming Tom's way. After seeing Top Gun, she knew their lives were about to change drastically. Interestingly enough, Tom had expressed doubts about marriage just a year before, saying, "I do." He admitted he wasn't sure if he could ever commit to marriage. In that 1986 interview, Tom even said, "Right now, in my present state of mind, I don't believe so. I need a lot of space for myself and my work." But Mimi must have changed his mind because they got married soon after. However, even in 1990, Tom was still talking about his doubts about marriage. He remembered his parents' divorce when he was just 12 years old and wondered if he could ever be faithful or if marriage even worked as a concept. He even joked to Mimi, "You're probably going to want to divorce me in 3 weeks." Despite all the doubts, Tom and Mimi seemed happy after their wedding. They lived in Lower Manhattan, focused on their careers, and tried to live as normal a life as possible. They went to the movies, out to dinner, and didn't cause any trouble. Tom even started to enjoy being a husband. He and Mimi visited each other on set and supported each other's work. He even said that Mimi helped him through his emotional performance in Born on the 4th of July, and when asked about his past relationships, Tom admitted that he had never been in love before Mimi, and that meeting her changed everything. It seemed like a love story for the ages, but as we all know, it wasn't meant to last. In that same 1990 interview with Rolling Stone, Tom opened up about how lonely and angry he had been before meeting Mimi. He gushed about her, saying, "I care about my wife more than anything in the world. She's my best friend. I just really like being with her, you know? I love her." It seemed like a fairy tale romance, but it took a surprising turn. Just a week after that interview was published, Tom and Mimi announced their divorce. It was a shock to everyone, and people started guessing what went wrong. Some thought maybe fame was the issue. Mimi had talked about how crazy it was attending the Color of Money premiere with Tom, where photographers went wild trying to get pictures of him and other big stars. She felt overwhelmed and just wanted to get out of the way. Mimi also had concerns about her own career. She wanted to be recognized for her talent, not just as Tom Cruise's wife. She was afraid of being cast in movies with him only because of their relationship, and that's not what she wanted. It's hard to say exactly what led to their split, but it was clear that their once perfect love story had come to a sudden and unexpected end. Even though fame seemed like a possible reason for their split, the age gap between Tom and Mimi might have also played a role. Mimi later told The Telegraph that the tabloids constantly talked about their age difference and made it seem bigger than it really was. Interestingly, it was Mimi who introduced Tom to Scientology. Her dad was a big believer in the religion, and Mimi was too. She shared her beliefs with Tom and even brought him to his first meetings at a Scientology center. This was a turning point for Tom, who quickly became involved in the church. But Scientology might have also contributed to their divorce. A former high-ranking member of the church, Marty Rathbun, admitted to helping break up Tom and Mimi, and later on, Tom and Nicole Kidman. He said he was involved in both divorces, suggesting that Scientology played a role in their relationship troubles. Even though they seemed happy, trouble was brewing in paradise. Some folks say that Scientology leader David Miscavige played a part in breaking them up, as both Mimi and later Nicole Kidman cooled down on him. But Mimi tells a different story. She said Tom was thinking about becoming a monk, and that it didn't fit with their relationship. She even joked that her instrument needed tuning, while Tom thought he had to be celibate for his spiritual needs. So it seems like fame, religion, and age were all blamed for their split. But according to two guys who wrote books about Tom, the real reason was simpler than that. They think Tom and Mimi just grew apart and wanted different things in life. One writer said Tom simply outgrew Mimi, while another quoted Tom saying they just weren't meant to be and were on different paths. In his book, Morton also mentioned a statement released by Tom and Mimi after their divorce. It sounded like they tried to make things work but realized it just wasn't meant to be. They said there were some issues they couldn't resolve, even after trying for a while. While all this was happening, Tom met his second wife, Nicole Kidman, while filming Days of Thunder in 1990. He was still married to Mimi at the time, but there was an instant spark between Tom and Nicole. They both admitted to Vanity Fair that it was a very passionate connection, filled with lust and excitement. Andrew Morton, the author of Tom Cruise, an unauthorized biography, believes that this connection was the reason Tom left Mimi. He wrote that Tom's lawyers filed for legal separation in December 1989. Right in the middle of filming Days of Thunder. But the public didn't find out about their split until over a month later, which was a deliberate move to keep things under wraps. After her split with Tom Cruise, Mimi Rogers found love again with producer Chris Chiaffa. They met on the set of a movie in 1990, and sparks flew. They started dating and eventually had 2 kids together, a daughter named Lucy and a son named Charlie. But here's the funny part. Mimi and Chris didn't get married until 2003, after being together for 13 years and having 2 children. When asked about it on a late-night talk show, Mimi joked that they only got married so they could join a fancy country club. It seems like Mimi and Chris have a unique and playful relationship, and they've created a beautiful family together. It's a testament to the fact that love can be found in unexpected places and at unexpected times.